good to see you.
Yes.
Oh, I can't believe you and Zachariah traveled all the way to Egypt for a visit.
Yes. I can't believe that we're here as well. Who could believe that 3 years have passed so quickly?
Oh, where are John and Zachariah?
Zachariah is out in Joseph's shop visiting with him, and John said he wanted to play in the creek with Jesus.
Oh.
But I'm afraid to say as soon as they got in the water, he tried to dunk him.
I'm sure Jesus loved it.
Oh, John absolutely loves the water, and he thinks that everyone else does too. If you walk within 5 feet of him, you're likely to get immersed with all the splashing that he does. It's just...
Oh, he does look quite comfortable in the water.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Here, let me take your cloak and
Thank you.
bag.
Thank you so much.
Oh, certainly. I'm so glad to have you here. Please, have a seat right here.
Thank you.
Oh, I just can't believe you're here. As hard as those months were, I treasured the time that we spent together in Judah after I conceived.
Me too. I was glad to be there for you in those incredible times.
That's one word for it.
Yes. I knew instantly that something just told me that you were going to have a baby too. In fact, when you came to visit, John actually jumped for joy inside of me when I heard your voice.
Oh my.
It's just something.
And I will never forget your words. Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the child you will bear.
I knew that you needed encouragement, and I was honored that the mother of my Lord should come to me.
Well, you were the only one who would feel honored under those circumstances. Yeah. I remember when the angel told me the Holy Spirit was going to plant the seed of the baby in me, he also said,
"Thank you.
Even Elizabeth, your relative, is going to have a child in her old age, and she who is said to be barren is in her 6th month, for nothing is impossible with God."
He certainly has proved that to be true.
Yes, he has. Which is why I still get so frustrated with myself for questioning his sovereignty.
How do you mean?
Well, don't misunderstand. I am not speaking against the Lord. Mm-hmm. Jehovah, he is God. But when you last saw me, I was an unmarried woman. Yeah. I had never been with a man, and I had just been told I was going to have a baby. Yes. I had no control over what was happening with my body. And I had no idea how I was going to tell my family and friends, and certainly not my fiancé. I knew the people of Nazareth would be merciless when they found out. I'd be called a harlot. And Joseph, well, his reputation would be ruined, especially if he chose to go through with our engagement.
I remember when you came for your visit, I heard you crying yourself to sleep many nights. It was awful.
It was awful.
Yes.
You know, I think it may have been even worse than I anticipated when I went home.
How so?
Well, for one thing, Joseph had a very hard time believing my story of Jesus being miraculously conceived.
Well, yeah.
It wasn't until an angel appeared to him in a dream and told him what was happening that his doubts of me were removed. Mm-hmm. And I had to spend most of my pregnancy at home in my father's house because the people in town, when I started to show, they treated me like a leper, unclean.
Oh, my poor dear. I had no idea what you were going through.
Nobody but Joseph did. Even in my father's house, I really didn't get a reprieve. My father and mother, they were so disappointed in me. They had these heart-wrenching sighs and these glances that showed their disapproval. My father would have put me out of the house if it hadn't been for Joseph pleading on my behalf. Mm-hmm. He begged for extra time to move up the wedding date and to finish the bridal home as soon as possible.
Wow, you poor thing. I hope that you and your parents have since reconciled.
Well, not exactly.
Thank you.
My mother is responding to my letters now, briefly.
Okay.
But they have no interest in visiting us here in Egypt, and I can't say that I blame them. I just keep hoping that someday, if we're allowed to return home, their delight over their new grandson will overshadow any disappointment they have in me.
I'm sure that it will. You and Joseph know full well how quickly the course of life can change.
Oh, yes, we certainly do.
Jeez.
Joseph has been wonderful, though.
I'm sure.
It wasn't until we were on our way to Bethlehem that I realized just how much I love and depend on him.
Oh, that's right. I remember receiving the letter saying that you were going to Bethlehem for the census. I couldn't believe that Joseph would take you so near the time of your delivery.
Well, I actually insisted on going.
Oh, my.
I didn't want to be home any longer.
The journey must have been grueling.
7 days bouncing along on the back of a donkey. Yes, it was terrible, but it was better than what I had been enduring at home.
True.
In fact, I did think that I had a little bit longer before the baby was going to be born.
When was Jesus born?
The day we arrived in Bethlehem.
Oh, my.
Yes, Joseph was frantically going around town trying to find a place for us to stay, but it was all full. It wasn't until late in the night that he finally found a shelter for us, an animal shelter.
An animal shelter? You don't mean to tell me you gave birth in a stable?
Oh, yes, not very elegant or clean, I know. But at least it was warm and dry. Jesus' first bed was a manger. Thankfully, Joseph had purchased some cloth just as we were coming into town, and that is what we used to wrap Jesus in.
You didn't even have proper clothes for him?
Not that first night, no.
Oh, precious girl.
I felt like a horrible mother.
Oh, my.
That's not all that happened, though. Late in the night, some shepherds appeared at the entrance to the stable. I thought they were there to bed their sheep, but they said an angel had appeared to them as well and told them to come and find the baby.
An angel appeared to them too? My, that angel must have been busy.
Well, one shepherd in particular was very kind. He offered us a place to stay in his home for as long as we needed it after the baby was born.
Wow.
It was actually his house we were staying in when the Magi arrived.
Magi. What Magi?
Well, a while after Jesus was born, 3 Magi appeared at the house where we were staying. They said that a star had led them to where the baby was. And when they saw him, they bowed down and began to worship him.
3 kings came to worship Jesus? Mm-hmm. Oh, my.
And they presented him with these gifts.
Oh, my.
Gold and frankincense and myrrh.
This gold is a gift fit for a king. And frankincense is burnt by the priests when they do their ceremonial offerings. But myrrh, that's used as a burial perfume.
Yeah. A strange assortment, I know.
You and Joseph certainly have had some interesting experiences since Jesus was born. It must have been after the Magi came that the angel told Joseph that you should flee here to Egypt because Herod was looking for Jesus.
Yes. We actually had to leave in the middle of the night because we feared for our lives.
You must have been terrified.
Well, let's just say my faith has been stretched in ways I never thought possible the last few years.
I should say so. What is it, Mary?
Oh, it's nothing really, it's just me battling my fears again.
Tell me. What is it?
Well, on the 8th day, after Jesus was born, we took him to the temple to be circumcised.
Okay.
And there was a man in there, a sweet old man. I know he was filled with the Holy Spirit. His name is Simeon.
Okay.
And as soon as we came in, he came over to us and asked if he could hold the baby.
Oh.
And when he did, he began praising God and prophesying.
What did he say?
This child is destined to cause the rise and fall of many in Israel, and to be a sign that is spoken against, so that the hearts of many will be revealed.
Well, surely that is true. The angel told you that God is that Jesus would be the Son of the Most High. And it would make sense that he would be able to reveal the motives of people's hearts.
Yes,
I think so.
but it's what he said to me that also has me troubled.
You?
As he was prophesying over Jesus, Simeon looked at me and said, "A sword will pierce your own soul too."
But what does that mean?
I have no idea. But it was so foreboding. I had the sense that Jesus was about to die, even though he had just been born. And I wanted to hold him close and never let him go.
Oh, dear girl, come now. There's no sense in borrowing trouble. Listen, the angel told you that Jesus would be given the throne of David and that his kingdom would never end. If everything else has come true since then, why not this too?
I know you're right. But in the meantime, here I am in Egypt. It's foreign territory. I'm completely uncertain what the future holds, and most days I'm just trying to keep it together for Jesus' sake. I remind myself every day that nothing is impossible with God.
Mary, here. Give me your hands. Blessed is she who believes and does not doubt that what God has promised will be accomplished.